In fact, none of the top 30 American job-creating companies responded to ICE's inquiry at all. And 0 of the top 10 biggest publicly owned companies responded. So does Issa really care about creating jobs? Or is he just scratching the backs of his corporate donors? And shouldn't the American people and not transnational corporations be what Issa is focused on? Here to offer his take on the issue is Seton Motley, president of lessgovernment.org. Hey, Seton.
Good to see you.
Welcome back to the program. So what the hell happened to government of, by, and for we the people of the United States?
The job creators are too busy creating jobs to deal with the idiots in Washington, so they have to hire people.
Darrell Issa's an idiot?
No, but they're working together to deal with the idiots, like at EPA and all the other regulatory agencies. So what they have to do is they have to hire people to represent them in Washington. The solution to this is to reduce the size, scope, and sphere of influence of government so that they don't have so big a hammer to whack employers with, like, for example, a 35% corporate income tax. So that these people...
Which is not paid. You realize that the tax payments in this country are among the lowest.
So perhaps you should lower them to a rate where they'll actually be paid.
And fill in the loopholes. I don't disagree. It's exactly what John Kennedy did when he actually raised taxes on rich people by dropping the top rate from 91 to 74%.
He raised the amount collected. He didn't raise the rate. And that's the difference.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, and that's why when Barack Obama makes a stupid claim like we're paying the lowest taxes in however many years, it's because the economy stinks so bad that no one, there's so few employees that we're not paying any income taxes.
That is a piece of it, but that's not the entire piece of it.
That's a large part of it.
You know, no, actually, he has cut taxes 2 years ago.
He raised taxes.
Ronald Reagan raised taxes 6 out of his 8 years. Obama has cut taxes 2 years now.
And Barack Obama's raised $7 in taxes for every $1 he's cut. 7 to 1. 7 to 1.
No,
Americans for Tax Reform, 7 to 1.
If you're quoting Americans for Tax Reform, I'm sorry, there's no credibility.
This whole segment's based on Think Progress, so I don't want to hear about questionable sources.
All right, well, let's get into the more abstract, rather than what do you hate about the founders' idea that corporations should not live longer than a human being, that they should be expired at the end of 30 to 40 years maximum?
Where's that in the Constitution?
It's not in the Constitution, but it was the law of every state in the Union until the 1890s.
Well,
and this was the idea of the founders. I could throw a dozen quotes up on
I want the corporation to continue producing jobs after the founder exists.
Actual founders. What about the founders' notion that a corporation should not be allowed to own other corporations? That they should only involve
I think all these are wrong.
In single business?
I think they realize that. I think
they were trying to stop a landed gentry. They did not want there to be...
We don't have a landed gentry.
Of course we do.
We absolutely do not.
You've got billionaires who... Why do you think that it's a good thing that billionaires or corporations or both should be able to buy politicians?
Well, they don't buy politicians.
Of course they do.
And again, I say, if you reduce the size of the hammer that the government's swinging around in the private sector, you're going to reduce a lot of...
just to hell with those, those regulations that say when you open a can of food, it's actually got to be safe.
Oh, please.
Let's just throw away those things that say that the drugs that you take actually have to work. Let's forget about, having traffic
There's about a million pages of regulations.
Let's get rid of the regulations that keep the Koch brothers from pouring benzene into the air.
Please. There's about a billion pages of regulation between where we are now and what you're talking about. There's a whole bunch of regulations.
This has got nothing to do with regulation. What this has to do with the corruption of government.
Why is it corrupt?
What you're advocating, government does have that hammer power. You and I agree on that point. Way too big. Whether it's big or small, we the people got together in 1776, overthrew the British in 1789, ratified the Constitution to say the government will have that power. This narrowly circumscribed but substantial power.
But it's not narrowly circumscribed anymore.
That power is now being acquired and corrupted by billionaires and corporations.
No, it's not narrowly circumscribed anymore. It's grown. It's grotesquely beyond its boundaries of where it was supposed to be in the Constitution.
Our elected officials want it, whether it's too big.
No,
you think it's too big. I think it's too small. That's not the point.
No.
My question is, why are you in favor of that government power being corrupted by billionaires and corporations?
I want it out of the way. It's not corrupted. I want it removed from the equation. I don't want it corrupted. I want it eliminated.
Okay, so let's just become Somalia.
I don't know. Again, there's a billion pages of regulation between where we are now and Somalia.
Yeah, in Somalia, they don't care about whether the food is safe.
Neither do they do in China. And you keep emulating China all the time.
Yeah, and boy, we would love to live in China.
You seem to want to. You seem to desperately want to.
Thank you, Seton Motley.